And ladies and gentlemen, you're going to want to listen up here. Joining us now is Scott Carter. He's CEO of Lear Capital. Good to see you again, Scott.
Steve, thanks for having me.
All right, so for those of the uninitiated, just give us a brief synopsis of Lear Capital. What's it all about?
Sure. Lear Capital sells precious metals, physical gold and silver, to affluent investors that want to diversify their portfolio. They've looked at their portfolio. They might be in stocks, they might be in bonds, but they don't own any precious metals. They call Lear Capital when they want to purchase that or sell those products.
Okay. And we'll get to gold in a second, but let's talk a little bit about the political scene here. And Donald Trump ruffled a lot of feathers when he started talking about economics and said that the stock market's going to tank,
yeah.
And they were headed for a massive recession. Do you buy into that?
I do. I think on this particular point, he's right. If you look at the world stage, every central bank in the world is printing money as fast as they can because we've got an economy, a world economy that is dropping and shrinking very quickly. The U.S. is no different. The central bank has been flooding it with money, and therefore the S&P is way up, but nobody's really buying it, and I think Donald Trump is onto something there.
What about a Trump presidency? A businnesman, a very successful businessman by most counts. Do you think that he would benefit the economy if he were elected president? Does it? Because we've never had someone who came from the business world as a CEO into the presidency.
Right. I think economically, if you just narrow the topic to just one thing, I think he would be better than the other choices that are out there, whether it's Ted Cruz or certainly Bernie Sanders or Hillary Clinton. But CEOs are used to deciding something and it getting implemented.
Yeah.
Congress doesn't work that way,
right,
so he might be frustrated without being able to make change, but I think given the choices from an economic standpoint, he'd probably be the best for business.
All right, now, you mentioned Hillary and Sanders. I mean, let's concentrate particularly on Sanders, a self-proclaimed socialist. Many believe he's even further to the left than socialist. I mean, free college, free this, free that, free everything. If he were to be elected president, what would it mean economically for the country?
Well, I think we've got Ayn Rand and Atlas Shrugged if Bernie Sanders gets elected president. I mean, basically, he believes strongly the government should redistribute wealth and take it from the top 2, 3, 4% and give away free social programs. We've seen this in Europe, Steve, with France and Italy. It just doesn't work. So, I just don't think that's it's not capitalism.
Yeah, no, it's not capitalism, and that's the scary part. And
right.
We had the other day, we had Obama in Cuba, Argentina, telling kids, just pick what works for you. Don't label it capitalism or communism. Just pick what works for you. It's like, what are you want to blur the lines? Okay, gold. Yes. We've seen an increase this week, in particular in gold. That's part of your business. Talk about why we've seen it go up this week and what the long-term outlook is.
Right. Well, I think the bloom is off the rose with regards to the economy. You're seeing the central bank not raising interest rates, which the bond market is telling us that we're headed to a recession. I think the latest GDP estimates for the first quarter are 0.6% growth.
Awful.
They're anemic.
Yeah.
So the U.S., like the rest of the country, is heading, the rest of the world is heading into a recession. And when that happens, central banks have printed money, they've reduced the buying power of our dollars, and hard assets like gold and silver do well in that type of environment. So there's a lot of fear out there, Steve, and that's when we do well, and that's why individuals are buying our products.
There's so many options, so many people that compete with you buy gold, and silver, etc. What form do you? Do you offer it in coin form, in bar form, in certificate form, like you own a stock? What is it?
Right. It's the hard asset. It's in coin form. It's in bar form. It's not a security. It's not a certificate. It's the individual who wants the physical asset. It's like buying a piece of real estate on the corner versus investing in a real estate investment trust. They want the hard asset. They want physical gold and silver. They can put in their safe or their safety deposit box. They sleep better at night. They know it protects them. And that's an asset that is growing in stature as these things economically are unfolding.
Right. And it's a hedge against, the stock market going boom.
Right, or inflation, although we're not in inflation, but deflation.
Yeah.
The stock market is in trouble, I think.
And how can people get in touch with you, find out more?
Well, all they have to do is go to learcapital.com, or they can call our general 800 number that's on that site, and we would be happy to answer any questions they have, give them the information they need, and they would be well advised to just evaluate whether it's right for their portfolio.
Scott Carter, great to see you, sir.
Thanks, Steve.
Scott Carter, CEO of Lear Capital, ladies and gentlemen, and we're coming back with much, much more of the Steve Malzberg Show. Don't go away.